Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It. My name is Mary and this is our podcast about online schooling, organized by International Online School Education Worldwide. This is for you. This is for those of you who are watching us for the first time. Summer is usually a time when students are finalizing their grades and graduates are have full hands with their admissions for colleges and universities worldwide. So that is why we have an interesting topic for tonight. Some of our graduates have already have been admitted to certain colleges and universities, but others are still in the process of entering these higher education institutions, which reminded us that we need to talk about what you can do as a high school student during your high school to make sure that you're ready when the time comes for you to go to a college or university. Precisely for that reason, we have a special guest tonight, which is our colleague Jenna. Jenna, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you, Mary?
I'm good. A little bit confused, like it's my first time behind the cameras. Not sure what's gotten into me, but never mind. You're our college advisor, right?
That's correct.
And you're going to share some interesting stories with us and with our students, but let's not forget my lovely co-host, Anita.
Hi.
Hi, Anita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How's the enrollment process going? You have
It's going.
enrollment season?
We have a lot of
Full hands.
finishing, a lot
Yeah.
of re-enrolling,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of new
New
enrollments.
enrollments. So yeah, it's a busy season for our
Yeah.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay, so Jenna, as I mentioned, this time of the year is usually the time when students are actually applying for colleges and universities. So definitely, this is not the best time to contact your high school and say, hey, what can I do, right? So when is the right time for a high school student to start thinking about the potential college and university that they would like to study one day?
Well, I would say at the beginning of high school. So 9th grade, maybe even 10th grade, but 9th grade would be a great time to start considering your options for higher education after high school, because then you have more than enough time to prepare, to research, to find out what you're interested in, what you would like to study even, and then prepare everything that's necessary to successfully be admitted into university of your choice.
Great. And when you say 9th grade and 10th grade, so what about those students who come in late? For example, they enroll with us in 11th and 12th grade. Are we able to help them somehow?
Of course. I'm just saying in an ideal world,
Yeah, in an ideal
it would be
world.
perfect to start the whole process at the beginning of high school. But of course, if you enroll in 12th grade or 11th grade even, we still have more than enough time to prepare everything. It's just important to reach out to me as soon as possible. So we have enough time.
Great. Awesome. And let's just divide everything in small steps. So what is the first steps? What is the first thing that they need to consider when they're in high school regarding their university application? Do the subjects that they follow in high school have anything to do with their potential higher education?
So I would say that the first thing that they need to consider is what they would like to study, what they would like their major to be, or what they would like to do when they grow up, so that they can accordingly select the elective courses during high school and possibly do some internships or some extracurricular activities that all go in that direction. So that would be the first step, definitely deciding what you would like to study, what you would like your major to be. Then after that, you do your research. You find out which schools there are, which universities and colleges offer that program, let's say, and then you can make a list of the universities you would like to apply to. And that would be the first, and I would say the biggest step, because the most important thing of all is deciding what you would like to study.
And yeah, and it now really has sense that you said that they should start from grade 9, because if along the way they realize that something is really not for them, they can actually switch to something else early in the process. And speaking of, so based on what you have said, it seems like high school should be considered as a narrow path toward your future higher education. And in that case, we have a lot of electives that you mentioned. So Anita, can you please tell us like what kind of electives do we have? Because we have these the standard ones that are included in tuition fee packages, but we also have different fields. So we really have like a huge list of fields or industries that a student can, get familiar with before they move to higher education.
So like Jenna mentioned, it's really important that, students kind of figure out what they want to study, because based on what they want to study later on, it kind of narrows down the subject selection for the electives as well. And you've seen our course catalog and everything. We've got all these different departments, and like you said yourself, we have the standard electives in the different departments, but we've also got the premium electives. Alongside premium electives, we offer honors courses and AP courses, which are really important as well, which I'm sure Jenna will touch base on, because of different requirements. This is something that we as consultants always let our families know that the standard ones, they're just like your basic two, if they go for 2 semesters, if they go for 1 semester. If the student is not too fast at the beginning of their high schooling to basically select certain subjects, but yeah, it's really important that they kind of think about that beforehand and before they enroll into university, just so that they can narrow it down and make their subject selection a lot easier, and also so that we as a school can help them meet their requirements or what they need later down the track as well.
Great. And because consultants are usually the first point of contact with any family, so what in the cases when they actually enroll, let's say 9th or 10th grade, and they have simply no idea what they would like to study, or they don't even think about college or university at that point, because we have students from all around the world, and not everywhere around the world people think the same. Is there anything that we can do to help them? Is there anything that we can say to them and simply prompt them to think about in that direction?
Look, we haven't had any cases so far where we've had students who have finished it and they're like, we don't know what to do. Usually, from the start, no matter what grade they start in, they basically form this relationship with their assigned teachers. And the assigned teachers is basically like their mentor, and they're always keeping on track with everything, seeing that they have enough credits, or they have elective courses and all of that. So once they get older, they get into those later years, the 11th grade, 12th grade, that's when they start thinking okay, have you thought about where you want to study, what you want to study, and then they kind of guide them in that direction as well, which is, I think, really important and a really good thing that we offer as an institution, that kind of mentor figure. But yeah, they basically 9th grade, 10th grade, if they don't have any idea, they pick random electives, which is still great because they're still doing something that they want to do. So on one hand, they kind of already know where they want to go down, which path.
Great. Awesome. And Jenna, when you have a meeting with the student who is interested in enrolling, how does it look like your first session with a student who has decided to take a consultation with you regarding college admissions?
What I often ask, and the most important thing for me, is asking whether they already know what they would like to study and where they would like to apply, or don't. Because if they don't, then they simply need to maybe broaden their search or figure out what they would like to do. But if they already know, the most important thing that I need in order to be able to help them is to see their list of their wish list, actually.
Yes.
And after that, we take a look at those universities together and check if the application requirements are available on their websites, because they usually are. But in some cases they're not, so it's necessary to reach out to the admissions office of that specific school. Our students are considered international students with a USA high school diploma, so that's the most important thing that I tell them, because they need to know where they need to look in order to figure out what they need. And then after that, it's the standard procedure. I mean, most of those schools ask for almost the same things. The school transcripts, high school diploma, recommendation letters, maybe some entry exams. So that's basically it.
But it's individual for every college or
course,
university or every higher education institution, which is why we usually advise students to check the requirements in advance. And I believe that is something that a student has to do individually, especially when it comes to contacting their admissions office.
Of course.
So is that the case? And I know that our students are sometimes like to ask for a favor and ask us if we can do it in their name, but that's not possible because why?
Well, the universities do keep us outside of the whole process, even with the universities in the United States and with Common App. I mean, the only thing that we can see are the recommendations that we need to upload or report cards. We're not even able to see the students' essays or anything. So at first, the universities are kind of keeping schools out of the whole process. So they are encouraging students to do the whole thing by themselves.
Great. And speaking of these requirements sometimes consider, okay, as we mentioned, some specific electives depending on the field that they're going to study. For example, I don't know, you cannot go and study economy if you didn't have anything related to economy, or if you were not good in math, or I don't know, something like that in your high school. So I suppose when you have a student who comes and says, hey, I would like to study this, that you give them advice on what subjects to pay attention. So
of course,
yeah,
of course. Whenever they tell me what they would like to study and they ask for a recommendation, I tell them that there are, like Anita said, different electives and different topics that they can maybe pursue throughout their high school education, in order to prepare for their further path, let's say.
Yeah, that's the part that we can do from as a high school. And what about some additional tests? I don't know, even though SAT and ACT are tests in the United States, oftentimes European colleges ask for them. The same goes for AP courses and even AP tests. All these tests are done outside of the school. So as a school, we don't have, we cannot do anything about it. But can we guide students towards and help them anyhow with the application for those tests? Or
so first, before talking about that, it's important to point out that not every university in the United States has removed standardized testing from their admissions requirements. So there are still some schools that ask for those, which is why it's important to take a look, because SATs can be taken only a few times a year, so it's important to know whether you need to take them or not. Yes, so they're all taken outside of school. We don't have anything to do with them, except that we can guide the students where to find
the registration.
Yes, and places where the tests are being administered and so on. So I can say it now. It's College Board website, and they can find everything there. So the AP courses, AP exams, how they're conducted, what they look like, SATs, and everything else that they need for their college admissions, I'm now talking about the United States, can be found on the College Board website. I even found something today that's called Big Future,
really?
which is actually for students who are not sure what they would like to study. So there are some, tests, or maybe some career paths, or some recommendations.
Something that can help them, along the way, which is really, really nice.
Interesting. Like so many times, they're stuck, they don't know what to do, and then having like this little multiple choice quiz or something like that,
Maybe you can point them in some direction. If you're watching us and if you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section. We will gladly answer it. It doesn't have to be related strictly to college applications or high school. It can be related to online schooling in general, or if you don't have a question and you just want to stop by and say hi, you're free to do that as well. And please don't forget to share this link with somebody who is maybe interested in enrolling, or somebody who is already enrolled in our high school and is considering college or university. admissions one day. So we should, what we're talking about here now will be valuable for them. Okay, let's go back to our topic. So, let's say that first meeting. So, okay, so students can schedule it. Do you like have I don't know, a list of things that they need to prepare for the first meeting, or?
Well, usually their assigned teachers contact me asking if the student can book a meeting with me. So I always ask, do they already know what they would like to study or not? Because if a student is unsure where they would like to pursue university or what they would like to study, I don't really see the point in meeting me, because I can't really help much with that. You know, they simply have to do that first step by themselves.
Yeah. Okay. And how many meetings can a student have with you during their education, or during one grade, or what is your recommendation? I don't believe you need to meet with them every week or every month.
No
so
need. Absolutely.
There's no need for that.
It's necessary to meet once, and then after that, it depends on them. You know, everything is self-paced and flexible. So if they're more comfortable emailing back and forth, that's okay. If they're more comfortable meeting me, even for a few minutes, that's also okay. So it depends on each specific student.
Great. Okay, so we have, I believe it's pronounced Jorge Mayorga, who is asking, what is the app for college recruiting? And Jorge has like a tennis racket and a ball on his thumbnail photo, so I suppose he's asking maybe about the NCAA. So
yes, I
could
know.
you please tell us about what is NCAA, because it's important for students who are athletes, because they can actually apply for colleges and scholarships. So let's just talk about the NCAA, and hopefully we will answer Jorge's question.
So the NCAA is basically National College Athletics Association, and all students who want to pursue sports alongside academics decide to go on that path, let's say. However, the thing with NCAA is that we really cover the academic part. So we don't have anything to do with recruiting, athletics, coaches, and so on. So we can only help with preparing the documents, advising students where to create their profiles and how to prepare the core course worksheets. Anita knows what I'm talking about. She has already done it so many times. So like I said, creating your profile on the eligibility center, make sure to contact your assigned teacher or your consultant to ask them about the NCAA approved courses worksheet, not worksheet, the catalog. Yes, because our courses are NCAA approved, but the NCAA does not approve every elective course that we offer.
Correct.
So core subjects are approved,
Exactly.
Core subjects, languages, certain
some electives like psychology or creative writing, journalism,
JavaScript as well, which is what I found out the other day. I thought that's not it's not NCAA approved, and then I saw it was. I thought, okay.
Yes, so all foreign languages. I don't know.
Basically, they have like some kind of like caliber of which subjects that they approve and which they don't. They're not gonna approve like, I guess, arts and crafts. I mean, they don't have arts and crafts in high school, but
health
or health or something like that. That's
I think they're leaning more towards some subjects that are
concrete
studied
subjects,
in colleges.
that have some kind of base knowledge that will help them, like as like prerequisite subjects as well for certain college courses as well.
So, for example, if you have a student athlete, what he needs or she needs to do is contact the assigned tutor or assigned consultant, ask for the NCAA code of our school, go to NCAA eligibility center. We have just shared the link in our comment section, or you can get a link from our consultants as well in an email or whatever you're using for the communication. A student needs, a student needs to register themselves and create a profile, and they will find all the information there, right? So when they do that, what's their next step with us? Like, do they need to follow up with us? Like, hey, I made my profile and I need this and that, or maybe they should just check the requirements.
Basically, like with my students in the past, they've created their profile and everything, and then they usually have like an agent from the NCAA eligibility center who reaches out to them, and they tell them like they need certain documents. So they request transcripts, progress reports, all of that. And then they just say, hey, can you send them that?
Can you upload it?
In
Yeah.
which we have like a platform that, you know, it's got like all our students that are registered on the NCAA portal. When they've been approved, they obviously get on that list, and then when the NCAA requests certain transcripts or diplomas or whatever, they let the student know, the student lets us know, and then we upload it on that platform. So they receive it straight away.
Yes, and I also have to say, we have had several students from this graduation generation who have enrolled in the U.S. colleges with full scholarships. So they're admitted to their desired college. They will play for their teams and everything. So it's really, this NCAA thing is really useful in the fact that our program is approved by the NCAA. It's just another, how can we say, like it's just another thing that confirms the quality of the program that we offer, because it says that it's good enough for a student to acquire a certain knowledge or achieve some academic excellence to make them ready for a certain college in the US. And of course the athletic part is based on the athletic achievements of that particular student. So is there anything else, Jenna, that you would like to add about the NCAA that students should know?
Not really. I think
they just need to
we
follow,
mentioned
like,
the most
it's,
important
they have
things.
really strict requirements regarding
Exactly.
academics, especially for this first
Division
lost-
one.
yeah,
Division.
first division. I was lost for a moment with the exact word. I was about to say first phase, so it's not first phase, it's first division. So it's Division 1 or First Division, so it's the one that gives full scholarships and the best possibilities, but they're really strict with their requirements. They ask for a student to have a certain number of credit points achieved in each high school. There's no jumping the years in high school, because we had a student who has completed 1 year of high school through placement test, and they didn't want to accept that, so he had to do it
4 consecutive school years or 8 consecutive semesters.
Yes.
No more, no less.
Yes, and they cannot finish the high school earlier. If they're early, they have to wait until they're 18, because that's the age that they are eligible to play with other players in that college or in university. So the rules are really strict, which is why we advise students to check the requirements.
Yes, but everything is so clearly explained on the NCAA website, so you can't miss it.
Even with their like credits as well, they need like certain amount of credits in language arts, certain amount of credits in math and all of that. So they can't just pick random like whatever's accepted. They have to follow their
Yes, but if a student enrolls, for example, in 9th grade with us, and if they do all of the core courses and choose the electives from the catalog, they have fulfilled those requirements.
It's problematic when they join us in, I don't know, 11th or 12th grade. So if they completed first 2 years of high school in some other school, it's really, it's possible to still to be admitted and get scholarship, but it's a little bit harder because other systems are simply not at the same level as...
It depends as well if that previous school's, NCAA approved as well.
Yes.
Like we had 2 twin girls who finished, I think, 11th and 12th grade only with us, and they got in on the scholarship.
Yes,
I think they were our first
really
2
amazing.
students that were NCAA approved and got into their college of choice,
which is great. Okay, so NCAA for all students who are athletes. So if there are any student athletes who are watching us up right now and would like to continue playing sports while they're in college, while they're studying, and you didn't know about the NCAA, it's not late. So contact your consultant. They will connect you with Jenna, and you can discuss your possibilities and opportunities during your high school education, what you can do. Or if you're just starting grade 9 with us, don't miss this opportunity, and simply explore everything in advance and make sure that all your subjects are in line and that you have followed everything during your high school education. So basically, the way things are standing, a student can do actually a lot during their high school to ensure that they're ready for a college. So at what point you notice the nervousness in them? Like, are they nervous? Are they like scared or anything when it comes to college or university? Like
The home stretch.
how they act?
No, I would say that they start being nervous when there is a list of things that they need to collect, submit, prepare, that we need to write for them, and when they are supposed to get their I don't want to say results, but results, basically, yes. So for early admission or for regular admission, it doesn't matter, but that first moment when they see what they need to do, I mean, it's not difficult at all, it's just a bit work, you know, that has to be done, you can't skip it. And when the results start getting in, actually, that's when they're most nervous.
Okay.
But I think it's good with our platform, like generally, they can keep track of like all their scores anyway, so they know like if they
know in advance.
They know in advance like roughly what they'll get, and if they need like a certain score, they can say, okay, well I've done, you know, I've got an average of 90%, but you know the past few I've gotten 17. That's gonna drag it down. I better, you know, pull up my socks and study a little bit more to keep that average up. So. You know, I just love our platform so much.
We know this.
I always have to.
From episode to episode, you show your impressions with our platform.
Well,
but it's really good, yeah.
When you know how to use it, it's the best tool that you have at your disposal.
Yes. Yeah, I think that as well. I don't know how to use it, but never mind. I don't need it at the moment. Okay, so sometimes our students go to do SATs, APs before they even finish high school. So do they ever come back and schedule a meeting with you or send you an email and say, hey, I did it good or bad? Or do they ever come back and tell you their results? And do they ever follow up with you, like, not for the particular reason, just you know?
Some of them do. Some of them, I mean, it's a relationship that you form with them, you know. So some of them do come back and tell me, hey, I got in, I didn't get in, I'm gonna wait for next year, I'm gonna apply again, or my results were great, I'm so happy, thank you for helping me, or something like that. So it's basically forming a relationship with them, because that's where they're, I think, most vulnerable, you know. It's basically their life at stake at that point.
Who is panicking more, students or parents? Like, who is more unreasonable in some situations?
I'm not sure how to respond.
It's a tricky question.
I don't know.
Because sometimes I have a feeling that parents are, you know, just the
yes, I would say parents.
Constant
I think that
drama around
students, I think that students are more cool about it than their parents. I'm guessing because that they're still young, so they don't understand the significance of the whole process, and their parents do. So they're trying to do their best to support them, you know, to prepare them for what's coming. But yes, the parents definitely panic a lot. But I have to say, what really struck me, what I find great, is that usually students contact me. I haven't really had that much contact with their parents, which I think is amazing, because you're going to go to that university. You're going to have to study.
And that's that individuality that universities and colleges would like to see.
Exactly.
So it's a really good thing that they contact you by themselves and they start asking these things by themselves, not being forced by their parents. Okay, so Jorge is asking, what is the difference between NCAA and NCSA? I believe Anita knows that.
Oh, NCSA, I don't know, but NAIA were also like approved.
Oh, okay,
so that's the
I
same
have
thing as
confused,
NCAA. It's like another, I better stop, I need to sit on my hands. I keep doing this when I speak. NAIA is the same kind of concept as NCAA. It's another sports like scholarship program. And they have the same concept as well. They require us to basically, you know, upload their school transcripts, diplomas, recommendation letters, all of that. So yeah, it's basically the same thing. It just depends. Like certain universities go with NCAA, certain go with NAIA. So again, it depends on the student, the sport, the college, all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe that the NCSA that Jorge was asking about is another institution of that sort, but we're not that familiar with it.
So we're always,
NCAA has the
I'm
highest
sorry,
standard.
that's exactly what I wanted to say. We're always talking about the NCAA because it's the
national,
biggest,
and
yes.
obviously they have the highest standards, and we are well, I cannot say in partnership with them. We cannot be in partnership with them, but if they're
approved by
approving
them,
our
yeah.
program, we are
Yeah.
definitely like, so our students are eligible to apply to all colleges and universities that are within the NCAA network. And the other one that I can't remember that,
Every
that
time
Anita mentioned.
during consultations, and I speak with parents who are like parents of athletes, and you know I always touch base on that. And when I start like saying all these NCAA, NAIA, it's like I'm doing the ABCD, like
It's really
EFGs,
confusing, yeah.
a lot of acronyms.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, so we covered the NCAA, I think, properly. We mentioned that what are the possibilities and everything. Okay, so when the time comes for a student to they're enrolled in grade 12 and they're approaching to their graduation and everything, and they're in contact with the college or university, should they like inform you back about something that they have collect or gathered information from college or university, if they receive some feedback from them? Should they like inform you about it, something that do we have like the necessity to have a feedback from them, like, hey, this is possible or not possible? Can we react in any way? Like,
I'm always happy to receive emails from them with any information, you know, whether they were accepted or not, or something regarding those admissions requirements. But they can always reach out and let me know if something extra is necessary. If they reached out to the university and they're unsure what they're asking of, so I'm always there to assist them.
Great. And do you know, maybe, you know, if it's stuck in your head at this moment, like some common things for certain countries that are the usual requirements? For example, I know that Italian, okay, Germany,
Yes,
speak.
They're so strict with their requirements for every student who didn't finish high school and pass their graduation. I'm not going to speak in German now. That didn't pass graduation in Germany. So as they are an organized country, they do have a list of requirements on their, I think, government's website for every student who finished high school in a different country. So for our students, it would be a USA high school diploma. And then you have certain fields that you need to click on, choose the options, and then you will see the requirements that are necessary for you to be admitted directly into the university without having to do an extra exam, or if you don't pass the exam or you don't want to do it because it's in German, then you have to do a semester of like a preparatory course for
so
university.
They're really strict and they really complicate things.
Austria too, but I'm not certain
much,
because
but
Germany definitely.
Is that the case with public universities and private universities as well?
I think public universities, private universities, it depends on each specific university.
Yeah. So if you're planning to study in Germany, be prepared. It's complicated.
If you're planning to study in Germany, please reach out to us in 9th grade. It's very important.
First year of elementary school.
Exactly.
Let's prepare on time. Okay, and I also know, for example, Italy, they have like a requirement. If you are studying in an American high school, you are obliged to complete at least 2 years before you graduate from that school. And they also require AP courses. Anita, maybe you can jump in if you know some additional requirement for some country that we can just like mention as an example.
With Italy, they definitely need 4 AP, again, depending on the university, depending on the course as well.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Not course, AP exam.
So they're asking for an
exam. So if you do an
yeah.
AP course with us, it's not enough.
Yeah,
you
they
have
need
to pass
the exam as
and
well,
get at least
or
C.
just the exam.
C, right? Or just the exam. You don't have to do the
That's
course
really
if you want to
strict
go
because
do the exam.
Yeah.
taking the AP exam in the US for the US colleges has sense at least for me, I'm sorry, this is my personal opinion. So yeah,
Tell us
and
how
how you feel about it. So basically, and if you score a certain, if you have a certain score on your AP exam, you can actually get some benefits. Like you can even skip a subject in your first semester or something like that.
You get credits.
You get
In European universities, you don't really get anything.
Yeah.
They just need that as a requirement.
Yeah.
But I think that just being able to follow AP course in a high school is already a huge deal, even without the exam. But they're really strict about something. So yeah,
it's very like content heavy, and it's one thing doing the course like on our platform, but you need the textbook as well. And it's like you can't do the course without the textbook. It goes hand in hand there. I know with Jordanian universities as well, I'm speaking from experience. I had a student who was applying at a Jordanian university, and I reached out to the admissions department, and we had a meeting and everything. This was before you did admissions. We still had Alex doing them, but she was on annual leave, and I was like, where is she? But
what can I do?
Literally, but there's nothing like an email or a phone call or a meeting can't justify. Basically, they too accept, obviously, our diplomas, our courses. It's accepted worldwide.
Yes.
Certain universities have certain requirements, all of that. They too have, you either do 6 ACT courses, or you do, because the ACT courses hold 1 credit, exams, sorry, not courses, ACT exams, or you do the AP exam, which holds 2 credits. So you do either 3 AP exams or 6 ACT, or you can combine them as long as you have like 6 in total. But again, that's something that we always recommend, reach out to the university.
I have to tell you, I have not yet had anyone from Jordan wanting to apply to university, but it's a good thing that you told me this.
But you know what, now that you mentioned Germany, I remember a student, and this is like a really important story because it tells you the importance of choosing your study field on time. We had a student, he wasn't really that much interested in high school. He was like a decent student, but not really involved too much, like what is necessary to be done, And throughout their high school, his parents constantly asked me about, I think that they even had a meeting with Alex during the time when Alexandra was doing this. And, but they were undecided about where he's going to study, because they were somehow convinced that just by having education worldwide diploma will open the door for a certain university. So our diploma, this is one important thing to know, so our diploma is recognized, but it's up to you to choose your study field and to apply for that university. So we do not have deals with any universities that will guarantee you that you are there. So anyhow, half a year after his graduation, they are writing to me and saying like, hey, they're telling us that we cannot apply for this program or whatever. And I asked them to forward me the email that they received, and what happened, they accepted his diploma. That wasn't a problem, transcript, diploma, everything. But he was actually applying to study artificial intelligence, which is one of the new things on that university. And they accept small number of students, 5 or 6 maybe. And of course they have requirements about the grades and about the subjects. And he was nowhere near artificial intelligence or math or anything like that. He was like languages and stuff like that. So this kind of cost him the possibility to enter that university. But they did offer him a possibility to enroll in their other programs. So, but it's really important that you know what you want to study, because high school obviously can help you a lot with electives, with core subjects as well. So yeah.
And we didn't really touch base on the GPA, but it's important to mention.
Yes,
GPA.
That's what I forgot. So what is GPA?
For the NCAA, it's a grade point average. So each one of your grades is assigned a certain value on a scale from 0 to 4. Yeah. They're added and divided by the number of courses or credits that you had in that year. So if you're applying for Division 1, I think NCAA, they have a requirement of how high your GPA needs to be. Also, most universities still have this because this is the way how they rank students when they're applying for university. So it's very important if you have high dreams and hopes for your further education to have high grades. Of course, you can't have grades C's and expect, to be accepted at a program like you mentioned.
Yeah, so definitely take care about your GPA as well. In other words, be a good student and have high marks and high grades. Okay, so again, so we are now it's the end of July, there's August, and we expect like the new high school to officially start in September, although we have enrollment open throughout the entire year. So what is your suggestion, for example, for students who are enrolling now with us? When would be the good time that they contact you for the first meeting, and maybe like it's orientational meeting, so to say? So it's not September, obviously, because that's when they're going to start. So I don't know, October, November, something like that. So.
Definitely, because early admissions for universities in the United States are end of December or mid-January. So if they want to go through that process, then they need to reach out to me in the fall, in October or maybe November, but I think that's even too late. Throughout the year, I think it's important just to reach out to me when you're ready, and we will set up a meeting and discuss everything. But if someone would like to, if a student would like to discuss their elective courses also, they can reach out to me before they choose them, because they have a few weeks when they start to choose their electives. So if they would like to discuss which electives would be good for the program that they're interested in, then they can reach out to me even in September or when they start, at the same week. It doesn't really matter, but it depends on each specific case.
And even if the student discussed this with you, I mean, the electives or some specific subjects, and even if you suggest something to them, you're again in contact with their assigned tutor and a consultant. So there's I'm just mentioning this for people not to think that we are all over the place. So we're all in communication and everything is synced. So everyone knows everything. Okay, I didn't mention this before. Jorge says, all right, thanks. Thank you, Jorge, for watching us and for asking this important and interesting questions. If anybody else has something to ask, you're free to do it in the next couple of minutes, because we're wrapping up soon. So, Jenna, is there anything else that you would like to add based on this topic that we have covered? So, then maybe something that I didn't ask you, or
I had something in my head before and then I forgot it.
I have something.
Anita has.
There you go.
I just wanted to let all of our students know that it's really, really important that, yes, even though we are a self-paced program and we do have like an average, 10-month for the full academic year, which consists of 2 semesters, it's really, really important that, and yes, we can, extend like end dates and all of that if need be, but it's so important to really aim for that like deadline as well. Like, we've had a lot of students in the past who, they want to get into like a certain intake, university intake, and they're rushing to finish everything, and then and that's all fine. But the problem ends up being like from the administration, where it comes down to transcripts, it comes down to getting them notarized, to getting them apostilled if they need full legalization, and it's got nothing to do with us, like how long it takes. Because it does go to the notary's office in Florida. If it needs full legalization, it gets sent like first to get notarized, and then it goes all the way to Washington DC, and then it goes
travels
back.
Around the USA.
Travels, and it's such a lengthy process that during this time, like from May till like August, September, it's chaotic, because we're not the only school that is taking students' transcripts over, that's getting them legalized, that's getting all of those requirements. We're gonna take all of that into consideration. So it's really, really important that they follow like their schedule as much as they can. If they have a certain deadline that they need to have documents sent by, say, for example, they need, they're in a country that it needs to be apostilled, and apostille takes on average 2 weeks to be, finalized, but sometimes it takes longer, and it's not up to us.
Especially
it's not up to the principal. It's up to, the notary's office in Florida. And even that, it's not up to them because the amount of work they have. If they need it done by a certain month to try even, get their assignments out of the way as quickly as possible so that we can urge for urgency as well, and have them prioritize so that they're not missing out on admissions or anything like that, because we really don't want that for any student.
Anita actually said what I was going to say. You reminded me of that actually. While we were discussing it before, I remembered we had a student just recently who was accepted on a full scholarship at a university in, I think, the Emirates. But the diploma and the transcript had to be fully legalized, and we had 2 or 3 weeks to do it. I mean, it's simply not possible. It's not up to us. We really can't do anything to speed up the process.
We, as much as we can, covering the
got scared.
microphone. The microphone. Producer's gonna kill me. In the past, when it was that first kind of batch a few years ago, and we didn't know why it was taking so long until someone, explained to us it's a crazy process during this time of year. And we reached out to universities, on behalf of the school and all of that, to try and, buy them some time or just explain to their admissions department, it's in that process, it's not up to us, it's not even up to them.
Should be advised that it takes a lot of time, and although, as we mentioned, this is a self-paced, if you guys are in 12th grade, so don't just take it too easy. So
don't wait until the last minute to finish.
If you're able, please try to even complete your grade, even if it's 2 weeks before your official deadline. It means a lot.
Yes.
Even if again, self-paced. We have students who work ahead of schedule, some who are easy, It's really important. We had one student as well who finished it in less than 10 months, which again is okay. But, and this is what we always urge, students to confirm with universities, that finishing in a certain time frame is not going to impact their admissions, or because again, even though everything is self-paced, some universities, maybe, you catch someone on a bad day and they're going to look at it and say, why'd you finish, a full year in 6 months?
It's sketchy, and I don't think this is good enough.
And of course, we have evidence that you've done that and all of that, but, we don't want that stress for you either. So
yes, of course. So
to always confirm with them that it's not going to be a problem.
If one semester lasts 5 months, I think that if you're in high school, finishing it in 4 months is it's okay. It seems like legit. Let's use that word. But anything less than that can raise suspicion on the college or university admissions office. So take care of your pace.
Yes. No, I just wanted to add for this, whenever students or parents ask me, is the program or diploma or transcript recognized regarding Europe, or Asia, I always say yes, but take care. It has to be, it definitely has to be legalized in some way. Whether it's an apostille or full legalization, it depends on the country, but just take care and take into consideration the time that it takes to do this, so that we don't have issues.
It's not just with school documents. I've had to apostille and fully legalize certain documents, for myself, not for school. There is a process and there is a time. Sometimes it gets done in a day, sometimes it takes, a few weeks and stuff like that. You never really know how long it takes.
There's no one time frame that suits every country. Depends on the country and everything.
Moral of the point, get it done on time.
Yes, get it done. Get it done on time.
I mean, even if you're in a rush, it's okay. We don't have to do it. We will send you a physical copy and you can do it yourself.
Yes, that is one of the possibilities. But they need just to make sure that American embassies in their countries are able to do the apostille.
Because some of them don't. Yes, we've had situations where some countries don't do it in their embassy, but it has to be sent to the United States.
But once we send them documents, original documents, we cannot accept documents back and do the apostillization, or
We
can
would
we
have
do
to reissue like a second batch of original signed with wet ink, with the dry
Yes,
seal,
yes.
all of that, for it to be like.
Yeah, because if I remember very well, somebody needs to sign something in the notary office.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at these.
No, I think these are all
They're bad examples.
None of them has an apostille.
No, they don't. Maybe we should get an apostille friend here. But they, like on our transcripts, for example, they have the stamp, so the school stamp, that's obviously the wet ink. It's signed wet ink, not just digitally. And they have the dry seal as well. So it's like the stamp
dry seal.
The dry seal. I don't know how else to explain it. The dry seal. And that is basically like what they can take there, because that's got, you know, all of the like legitimate signatures and stamps that they look for, and then they can just go from there.
Okay, great. I think we've covered this pretty well. So basically, nothing is a big deal if you start thinking about your higher education on time. You can achieve everything. Education Worldwide is here for you. We can help you with choosing your electives, making sure that you're on track with requirements for your college or university. You need to take care about the grades and your performance and your academic achievements. We cannot help you. I mean, tutors can help you, but consultants and advisors cannot do much about it. And of course, we are here to cover this bureaucracy things like apostilles, notarizations, recommendation letters as well. And hopefully, if you enroll as our student and you graduate from our online high school, you will have like a very nice path which opens many possibilities for you when it comes to higher education. So thank you, Jenna, for being here with us tonight. Anita,
it was a pleasure.
Well. Thank you for joining this conversation.
Oh, it's my
We
pleasure.
usually leave you on the side. I forgot to ask you questions, but I think you participated.
I jumped in.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and see you next month with some new topic. Bye.